I know. Throw it out the window, right? That awful sound most people hate waking up to gets us up and out the door for work. But what about the weekends? Most of us like to be social, but that could be leading to extra weight gain and other health issues. Yeah, joining us this morning to talk about some new research on this topic is Dr. Joseph Ogile with the Clayton Sleep Institute. Thanks so much for being with us, Doctor.
Thank you, Angie.
Okay, so let me get this right. You know, we all have to go to work. A lot of folks, hey, are heading out the door this morning. We also want to be social on the weekends, and now you're telling us that we may gain weight and some other health issues?
Yeah, there was a very nice and important research study done in Germany with 65,000 people. And what they found was that folks, they take their daily work schedules during the week, sleep and wake schedules, of course, and then on the weekend, the people who flip those schedules around they sleep very late, get up late, that sort of thing. What was found over time is that those folks had significant issues related to that. And what's happening biologically, Angie, is that the sleep-wake cycle, when you juggle it just for the weekend, you give yourself effectively jet lag. You get your body's wake and sleep schedules, you get what we call out of phase, because there's a thing called the circadian rhythm, which is not a word you need to necessarily remember, but it's the wake sleep cycle that's inside our brains. Okay. And when you fly, for instance, from here to Europe, that gets a little bit out of phase or out of kilter. Okay, but when you do it over the weekend, effectively that's what you do. You do the same thing to yourself. That sort of thing, it gets your body out of, if you want to use the term, out of sync or out of harmony. That will start causing other things. First of all, you'll be tired at the wrong times of the day. Secondly, what has been seen, the suspicion, people do gain weight and have higher body mass indexes who do this sort of behavior.
Really?
That's what these authors found.
Okay.
We think the theory there is that people tend to eat more calories in a different type of caloric food, so they eat the wrong things to try to stay awake.
Okay, so because our sleep schedules are so out of whack, we may be eating at the wrong times and so on and so forth.
And eating more calories and higher calorie density foods to try to stay awake, right? Sort of the theory that when you're really tired, you'll grab something that's high sugar content, right?
Oh, yeah.
So
you're just hungry.
Exactly. So you just want to do that, and that'll raise your sugars, and you'll try to overcome that. Okay. So that's the sort of observation. That's not a fully proven issue yet, but it's this sort of data, 65,000 people, gives us a good arrow to point towards that sort of outcome.
Okay, so really quickly, what can people do?
What people need to do is, they do need a social life. So we're not trying to tell people to stay rigidly in their schedule over the weekend, but they need to be careful. Move your sleep time by a few hours a weekend. Don't try to get an extra 6 hours sleep on Saturday and 6 hours sleep on Sunday. That's not going to work very well based on this data. And this is still consistent with what we see people doing today clinically in our practice.
All right, great advice. Dr.
You.
Joseph Ogile with the Clayton Sleep Institute. Thanks so much for joining us.
Thank you, Angie.
Hertz, well, hopefully you're not a socialite, because on this schedule, we don't get a whole lot of sleep.
I'm a sleepy light. I sleep all the time if I can. Thanks, Angie.